Thanks to the support as a channel member, Jacob O'Neill. Well, folks, we've now hit the halfway point of the season. We're still top of the championship. The January transfer window is about to begin. And the question I have to ask myself is, with this £6 million transfer budget I've got, do I just throw it all at a superstar to guarantee us Premier League status next year? Hello and welcome to Club 2, Part 11 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games in the Championship for you. We're away against Leeds and at home against McDongs. They are McDongs, and I won't call them anything different, even in a video. That's usually a stream thing. Since you were last with me, we have hit a little bit of a sticky patch. As you can see, only one win in our last 5 games, but we did score 5 goals in that win. Simon Patton just getting casual hat-trick, as you do. But we are maybe starting to get found out a little bit at this level. Obviously, as ever with a promotion, we started very brightly. Momentum and morale are huge things in Football Manager, and they have been for the last several versions of the game, and clearly it's no different in FM21. That promotion momentum that you get, that can carry you a long way if you look after your players right and really focus on keeping the morale up and running, which, you know, I do. But eventually the momentum does only take you so far, and you start to get found out tactically. And I think we're hitting that point, and it does mean it's decision o'clock, because the league table looks like this. It's still looking very healthy, and we're top of the league, 3 points clear of Watford, West Brom, 4 clear of today's opponents, Leeds. We've got the top scorer in the division in the shape of Simon Patton, who's got 21 goals for us now. So he's obviously an absolute superstar whose value is increasing all the time. And I still maintain that's a £30 million player. That age, that international experience, and that goal record in his first season, he's a £30 million player, whatever way you look at it. But I have been down this road before and know that these next couple of games are absolutely crucial, as is January. And because we have got £6 million to spend, we're kind of in the same position we were in last year, in that we're over our wage budget and we can't move it. I'm hoping once we get into January, I can ask for an increase in wage budget, which isn't necessary, and there's no wage cap here. But if we can't adjust that, we can't actually spend this. I'm hoping we can get to the point where we can spend some of that. Just get a couple of maybe more experienced heads into the squad, just to steady the ship, really, as we head into the second half of the season. It would please the board, because they're very disappointed that I'm not signing high reputation players, but they also see that I'm struggling with the wage budget, so that might not be an area they want to negotiate with. But it was a frustration last year. It could be a frustration again this year. But yeah, these next couple of games are crucial. If we continue our inability to win football matches and that goes into January, I think it could be a long, hard second half of the season that leads to us finishing like 10th after just stumbling through the rest of the year in this kind of form. We've done that before. However, if we can go and beat Leeds, who are a promotion rival, it's away from home, it's a big game, and then a big TV game against MK Dons, if we can beat them as well, then all of a sudden we're looking good going into January, looking good going into the new year, and we can put this behind us as a little bit of a blip. It could go either way. We really need to win this game against Leeds. And this is the team that we're going to put out there to try and do it. We're going with Malden in goal, a back four of Devine, Anderson, Sykes and Lawrence, Taylor and McCormick in midfield, Solomon Otterbor, Schmodix and Gooch supporting Patton up front. It's a very familiar team for us at this point. And looking at that team, if it did become a let's throw some money at this, I think there are a couple of obvious places we'd want to throw some money. For me, a real right back would be nice. Henry Lawrence has been lovely, but he is a midfielder who's playing at right back. So a real right back would be a definite upgrade to the squad. I think we're good at centre back, in goal, in midfield, striker, obviously, and Gooch never lets us down. But I do look at Schmodix and Solomon Otterbor as previous heroes and do wonder if they've got what it takes to. I mean, neither of them are stepping up to the Premier League. None of those three probably are stepping up to the Premier League. And if they're not good enough for the Premier League and we're in a promotion push, maybe they're areas we should be looking to replace. So kind of there and across there are where I'd be looking for players. If we could go and find a real top tier player to play somewhere in that attacking midfield three, I'd be willing to throw 3, 4, 5 million pounds at a transfer fee for the right man at the right kind of age with the right kind of experience. If we could get like a 24, 25-year-old who's maybe done a couple of years in the Premier League, maybe played a few international appearances here and there, but has fallen on hard times and can't get into his current Premier League squad. We're looking for someone on a transfer list in the Premier League, really, who we can pick up for 3 or 4 million and slot into that role. But we've given away a penalty here early on, and this is not how this was supposed to start. Leeds with the penalty, and they have gone 1-0 up after only 8 minutes, and this is what I feared might happen. And there's nobody turned up, by the way. I thought Leeds fans were supposed to, like football. There's no one here. I know it's only Peterborough coming to visit, so it's not the most exciting of ties. But as you can see, in the right circumstances, it's a top of the table clash. Because as it stands at the moment, they move up to second place. We stay top by 1 point, but struggling, really struggling. Similar to how Shrewsbury were struggling in League One last year, dominant for a while, and then it all falls apart. And I worry that's what's happening, because look at the state of that XG. There isn't any, and yeah, we're on the back foot again here. Lawrence does well to win the ball back there, though. Told you, brilliant right back. Would never think of replacing him. Really good player in there at right back. Labelled wrong. Football Manager thinks he's a midfielder. We know he's a right back. He is completely out of position here, which is leading to Leeds getting another opportunity. Taylor has a wild swing of the foot that could have just as easily led to a penalty. In fact, it's led to another goal for Leeds, and we are struggling here, boys and girls. We might even need a return to the good old 4-3-3, grind out the results that we did in the second half of last season, because the Kettering system that we've been using this year has served us well up until this point. But we all know every now and again you reach a point in Football Manager where the AI figures out what you're doing and just counters it. And I think our 4-2-3, we've hit the halfway point of the season. Our 4-2-3-1 gegenpressing that we've been doing, we've played everybody once now. Leeds have already been suckered in by this system and are now countering it, and their better players are ruining us. It's 3-0 after 33 minutes. I mentioned it might not go well, but I didn't expect it to go this poorly. I don't know what to do now, really. We can't now drop to a 4-3-3 counter-attacking system because we're losing 3-0, and that's not going to get us back into the game. So we've got to continue trying to attack, but I think Leeds are just going to keep punishing us for doing it. The one, I mean, it seems like a ridiculous thing to say, top of the table at the halfway point. We're going to thrash the arms and say I'm far from pleased with what I've just seen. Throwing the bottle doesn't seem to work. Thrashing the arms, though, can be effective. It seems like a mad thing to say, but I'm so glad we've got 51 points on the board already, because at least we're not going to get relegated, which of course was the goal for this season. Don't get relegated. Oh, there's some poor performances out there today. What on earth do we do here? We deal with it the way all the previous... a long line of Kevin Chapmans and Football Manager have dealt with situations like this. We go more attacking and hope that that is all that is needed. And we kind of already write this game off as a bit of a disaster. Unless we score now, in which case we throw on another striker and hope that we can bring it back to 3-3 somehow. Solomon finds Patton. There's Gooch. There's the goal. Right, get another striker warming up. Who have we got on the bench to come on as another striker? We've got Etete, we've got Burns. Neither of them really have proven anything in the way of being a striker for us this season, which is... I mean, it's a problem. If Patton were to pick up an injury, we'd really, really struggle. But now we're going to demand more, and hopefully we're not going to concede another goal. And you never know, we might be able to turn this into a draw yet, and that would be a good result. Disallowed. It's disallowed. Don't worry. Stop worrying. It's disallowed. We're fine. We still have a route back in. Etete, get warming up. We're going to have a look at you. At the start, I mean, in pre-season, we were excited about him. It didn't really turn out that he was any good. Right, we'll watch this highlight. He hasn't really been given an opportunity because of Patton. That's a big long throw. Solomon with the flick on, and Patton actually is the man who didn't really seem aware of what was going on and probably should have been getting on the end of that. But I think what we're going to do is a bit of a shuffle around here. Schmodix, as a Peterborough fan in real life, which I don't know if I've mentioned in this series, it really pains me to say this, but I don't think Schmodix is up to it at this level. He's been found out at championship level in real life multiple times, and he's being found out again, boys and girls. He's not a championship player. We are going to bring a Tete on. He wants to be a target man, but I'm not playing a target man. He can be a pressing forward. He's quick enough to be able to be a pressing forward. I mean, if we have a look at, there you go, pressing forward on attack, what can't he do? He doesn't really have the composure or the finishing. Okay, well then let's make him a pressing forward on support. Let's get him doing the running to try and create opportunities for those around him. Maybe that makes a bit more sense. Otterbour's having a terrible game. We can bring Richards on for him. And you know what? I was going to bring Burns on as well, but that might be a little bit harsh on Gooch, who has scored. Although, to be fair, no, I was going to say we could stick Patton out on the wing and bring... No. Go with this. There's still 20 minutes. There's still half an hour of this game to go. 2 substitutions for now is plenty. And hopefully, this is the making of a Tete today. Malden plays it forward to Anderson. I think this is the same highlight continuing from the one that we paused midway through. So a little bit of a worry that it's been going on for a little while and Leeds have got the ball and they're in our half because it's probably going to lead to a goal. McCormick just about intercepts, but doesn't get it clear, and Leeds have scored. This one's not been disallowed either. It's an own goal. I told you Henry Lawrence wasn't a right back. Oh. I mean, we were due a difficult spell in non-Leeds Legend this year. It's all been very easy so far. Someone said in the comments the other day, you realise Kev's never not been promoted in this season's non-League Legend so far. And it was like, yeah, that's a good point. I would argue I've been promoted 4 times in 3 seasons because I'm absolutely taking Kettering's promotion last year as well. I think this year is... I don't even know what... I mean, I want to go home. This isn't... No. Just stop scoring goals, Leeds. Please. Pretty please. Stop scoring goals. You've had your fun. Jack Taylor's not having a very nice time. Dreyer can come on for him. Oh, sometimes you get days like this. It doesn't necessarily mean the wheels are off. It could just be a blip. A 6-game blip. Look, McCormick's having a poor game. Gooch is tired. This is... We're still top of the league. I would like to think the Peterborough faithful at the top of their lungs are singing, we are top of the league while all this is going on. Because we are. And we might not be able to sing it again for a long, long time. So let's get our money's worth on that chant today. Atete's in here. And that is a nice finish from Atete. His first goal for Posh. And you know what? That's a very tidy little finish. And that's a little like flash of a little bit of cloud. I was going to say a cloud on our silver lining. Literally the opposite, Kev. A little bit of a silver lining on the cloud. A little bit of a bright hope for the future that we have brought on one of our young up and coming players who's not really had an opportunity. He's come on and scored a nice little goal. That's the only positive we can take out of it. Shall we throw the water bottle? No, I'm going to thrash the arms. Throwing the water bottle is bad. I'm not a water bottle thrower. I'm not a violent man. Can't be throwing water bottles. It would look pathetic. It wouldn't even make it to the other wall. They'd just laugh at me. Right. If ever there was a game to make or break the season, for the comeback or to ruin us completely, it's this next one against MK Dons. Because they consider us a rival. We don't consider them a rival. They're a nothing. But they consider us a rival because they're desperate to have one. And they're in the relegation zone. And the match is on TV. It's been a horrible December. Let's turn it around against McDonald's. Right, just the one change for the MK Dons game. Burns comes in for Solomon Otterbourg. Gooch moving over to the left-hand side as we just try something a little bit different in there. We don't really have much in the way of strength in depth to change things up anywhere else. And I mean, I don't even know what I'd change. I think we came up against 11 players who were all better than our 11 players. Leeds were relegated from the Premier League last year. So this time last year, Peterborough are a mid-table League One side and Leeds are in the Premier League. And yeah, we've signed a few players, but we're not completely revolutionised the club. It's not that different. They're not that different. It's an excuse, I know, but it's an excuse that I'm going to go with because I need something. Because we just got absolutely battered and I didn't care for it. Burns with a low, long bullet throw finds Simon Patton, who gets his 23rd goal of the season. There's an argument for having Burns in the side. He's got that throw in his arsenal, which is incredibly dangerous and has just got us a goal. It's perfectly placed. It's 1-0 to Peterborough, and that's what we were looking for because this could be, we could force our way back up to the top of the table. December could end brilliantly if we end up with a win here against Milton Keynes, because that means we are still capable of winning. We're not just going to go on a long run where we lose all the football matches, because that would be a little bit rubbish if we did. I am starting to have a little bit of a look ahead to January as well, and there's a couple of loan players that I've identified that I'd like to bring in if we could get the wage budget for it, but I've asked El Presidente if we could have some loan money, and he said no. Have some wage money, and he said no. So I don't see how it's going to be possible. I'd quite like to get Brandon Williams from Manchester United to come in and play right back for us, but they want half of his wages, which is, he's on £53,000 a week at Manchester United. He's on the loan list, but we can't afford 26 grand a week in wages. We've conceded a goal here, by the way. If you are just listening to this, it's 1-1. Oh, they're playing a flat back six as well. Pathetic. Just pathetic that they're playing that kind of system. And even more pathetic that we can't break it down. And Ricky J. Jones, of course, the Peterborough youngster who was sold just before I arrived to Everton for £11 million. Interestingly, they then sold him on to Brighton for £8 million. He's never played for either of them. What an audacious effort from Patton. But he's on the loan list at Brighton, and he's a Peterborough youngster. Bleeds blue, presumably. Only plays for blue teams, it seems. So do Brighton wear blue? They should. If they don't, they should. And yeah, he'd be quite a nice one to bring in, but we need £5 grand a week to be able to pay his wages. They want half of his £10,000 a week. So that seems unlikely as well. But he can play out wide on either side. He can play up front, so he could come in and play up front with Patton on the right, or he could play out on one of the wings with Patton staying up front. Either way, he upgrades that front four one way or the other. But again, we can't even afford the £5,000 a week we need to be able to bring him in, which is frustrating when we've got a £6 million transfer budget there and we just can't wiggle it around. And I don't know why the board are so anti-wiggle, but they really have stopped. They stopped me from wiggling last year. They're stopping me from wiggling now. They need to stop false advertising these big transfer budgets. Hey, Kev, have £12 million to spend. By the way, you'll only spend £3 million and run out of wages, and you can't change any of it over. Thanks. Big thanks for that. You may as well have just given me a £3 million budget then. That's all I've been able to spend. There's frustration starting to seep through. People said, Kev, you'll stay at Peterborough forever now. Will I? Will I? Because with it being my own club, the frustration is stronger when stuff doesn't go my way. And with the board not supporting me, this is the exact problem we had in Twitch. I managed Peterborough on Twitch earlier in the year. This is the exact problem I had there. I just didn't get the support from the board. And it's starting and it needs to stop. Another problem we potentially got, Morganson, this might be his last game for the club because the work permit day comes in on the 1st of January. And although he had settled status, he's not actually got an English passport. He's not been here anywhere near long enough, apparently, which, I mean, he did all that time at Brentford and he was only out on loan then. How has he only got 183 days towards his English passport? So bottom line, as of the next game, Morganson's not going to be able to play for us anymore. So probably should have taken that into account when we signed him. Anderson's the other one who's not British, but he apparently should get a work permit. If we just have a look at him, I don't know if it's certainly not because of his international appearances, but I guess he's very close to getting an English passport and he's relatively well paid. So I think on that basis, he should probably get a work permit. But there's a chance Anderson doesn't get a work permit either, and that would be an utter disaster. It'd be bad enough losing Morganson because he's one of our, although he's not exactly a key player, he is one of our options that we have as an attacker. But yeah, Anderson would be a total disaster if we lost him. So, I mean, it never rains, it pours. We're going to lose to McDonald's here. And then I can guarantee Anderson's not getting his work permit. And then it all starts to unravel from there because, I don't know what I do then. Resign on the spot. Go back to Kettering, who are in a relegation battle in League One. Go and save them. Be a hero. I've waited 6 years to get the opportunity to manage Peterborough in this series, and I'm gone after a year. Got them promoted. That'll do. Got them promoted, and then it all fell apart. Right, Divine. I'm overreacting. I know I'm overreacting, but if you watch the Leicester series as well, know that I recorded those videos first. So it's just not been a very good day for me today. And spoilers, I know, but you know, just watch them when they come out. It's not my fault. I have to live through them in this order. Look at that. They've got a 5.9 on their right back and we still couldn't break them down. I just hope December is just a blip. I think we go back to the 4-3-3 for the Preston game and just start grinding out results. It worked last year. It's going to have to work again. And yeah, we'll just become a boring team for the second half of the season. The problem is by doing that, we're settling for mid-table. I don't think we stay top of the league grinding out results. But I don't think we stay there playing the way we're playing either. So, yeah. I wonder what will have happened by the time I come back tomorrow. Transfers, hopefully. Give me some money, board. Look, people will say, Kev, you know you can adjust the slider. You really can't. You can't adjust the slider. Right. When they've got £6 million to spend, there's £9.5 million in the bank. Give me an extra 20 grand a week wage budget, for goodness sake. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.